Number 15. Joe Lauzon has the most finishes in the UFC lightweight division. Even though he is known for his stand and brawl fighting style, he has a very dangerous ground game. 18 of his 26 wins have come by submission, and he is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 14. Urijah Faber is the former WEC featherweight champion. He uses his high-level wrestling skills to set up his submissions. 19 of his 33 wins have come by submission. He is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 13. Michael Chiesa is the Ultimate Fighter Season 15 winner. 10 of his 14 wins have come by submission. He combines both of his high-level wrestling and grappling skills to try to finish his opponents. He has a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 12. Tony Ferguson is the Ultimate Fighter Season 13 winner. 9 of his 22 wins have come by submission. Although he's an overall well-rounded fighter, he has a high submission game and is mostly known for his Diaz choke. He is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 11. Charles Oliveira fights in the UFC featherweight division. He has pulled off complex submissions such as a calf slicer and anaconda chokes in his fights. 13 of his 21 wins have come by submission and is also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 10. Nate Diaz has fought both in the UFC welterweight and lightweight division. He famously submitted Conor McGregor by a rear naked choke at UFC 196. 12 of his 19 wins have come by submission. He also has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 9. Nick Diaz is the former Strikeforce welterweight champion and has a very high Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. He famously submitted Takanori Gomi by a go-go platter. 8 of his 26 wins have come by submission and has a 3rd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 8. Josh Barnett is the former UFC heavyweight champion. He is known to compete in grappling tournaments all over the world and is the Metamoris heavyweight champion. 20 of his 34 wins have come by submission and has a 2nd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 7. Anderson Silva is the former UFC middleweight champion. Although he's a phenomenal striker, he also has a very strong Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. When he fought Chael Sonnen at UFC 117, he lost all 4 rounds of the fight and famously submitted Chael Sonnen via a triangle armbar in the 5th round. 6 of his 33 wins have come by submission. He is a 3rd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and is a black belt in Judo. Number 6. Frank Mir is the former UFC heavyweight champion. He is one of the most dangerous submission fighters in UFC heavyweight history. He famously submitted Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira by a Kimura at UFC 140, who had never been submitted before. 9 of his 18 wins have come by submission and he is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 5. Ronda Rousey is the former UFC women's bantamweight champion. She has an Olympic bronze medal in judo and 9 of her 12 wins have come by submission. She mixes her high-level judo skills to set her opponents up for an armbar. She has a 4th degree black belt in judo. Number 4. BJ Penn is the former UFC welterweight and lightweight champion. He received his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belt in just 3 years and has a world-class submission game. 6 of his 16 wins have come by submission. Number 3. Jacare Souza is the former Strikeforce middleweight champion. He is a great wrestler who is able to use his grappling skills to set up beautiful submissions. 16 of his 23 wins have come by submission and has a black belt in both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo. Number 2. Demian Maia uses his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills to dominate his opponent during a fight. He has openly mentioned that he is always trying to finish the fight fast without causing too much damage to his opponent. 12 of his 24 wins have come by submission and he is a 4th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 1. Fabricio Werdum is the former UFC heavyweight champion. His knowledge of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is just on a different level. He was the first person to ever submit the great Fredo Emelianenko and former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez. 10 of his 20 wins are by submission and has a 2nd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a black belt in Judo.